Okay, we just got to one of my all-time favorite hiking trails in Iowa. Also one of the oldest. Backbone State Park. And the first thing we're doing before we set up our tent is we're gonna actually hike the Backbone. It's a short little trail, but it's kind of crazy. So if you look behind me here, you can kind of see just how far up we are. There's cliffs, there's little drop-offs like this, kind of everywhere you go. The first part's actually kind of dangerous if you have little kids. Or if you're like scared of heights, it's kind of creepy, but just got to make sure you watch where you're going. So I had a little bit of time to do a quick overnight camping trip with my son. We were visiting family over in eastern Iowa, so I decided there's lots of cool options, but Backbone was really close. Haven't been to Backbone in years. This was one of my favorite spots to go when I was a kid to get some hiking in. It's got awesome bluffs, cliffs, spring-fed streams stocked with trout, beautiful creeks that you can creek stomp in, really nice campsites, there's rock climbing. It really does have quite a bit of stuff. Plus, this is one of the Civilian Conservation Corps' first projects in Iowa, and there's lots of cool history associated with that, and a really nice set of buildings, trails, stone walls, just really, really cool stuff. The highlight for sure of the park, though, is probably the Backbone Trail, which is where we decided to start when we arrived. Almost everywhere you go, you're going to see cool little stuff like this on the start of the trail. Cool little bluffs and limestone, outcroppings and lookouts. This right here, this is why I love this park. I don't feel like I'm in Iowa. I love this kind of stuff. This cool karst topography and these limestone bluffs and ferns and these twisted pines and cedars coming up. This is so cool. Like, you definitely wouldn't think this is in Iowa, or it's not what you're used to anyway. There's just like little caves. I love it. I love this trail. So the Backbone Trail itself is actually pretty short. So it's just, the coolest part is that beginning with all the cliffs and the limestone stuff. But the rest of the trail is really, really nice too. It's just not as dramatic. It's more typical Iowa forest. You will still see those limestone outcroppings on this portion of the trail too. But it's nowhere near as cool as that short little stretch right when you start. This is kind of cool. This plant right here, wild ginger. It's really easy to spot. Heart-shaped leaves, the root. If you break the root like this, snap it. It smells just like ginger. That's all over the place. Okay, so going down these cool little ravines is fun. But it's a little treacherous. So I'm kind of nerdy and I like doing weird nature stuff. And a couple summers ago I got into mushroom foraging. This right here is one of the prized things you could get. It's called chicken of the woods, super easy spot. It is edible. Supposedly you can fry it up and it tastes just like, you guessed it, chicken. I never worked up the courage to actually cook it and eat it, because apparently maybe 10% of the population have a bad reaction to it. I just never really thought it seemed worth it. Well, I know a lot of people love this stuff. I just appreciate it because I think it's beautiful. I think it's really, really cool. Fungus. So this right here, this is a little bit old. Over here though, this is very fresh. This one's just starting. This is gonna be really big in like a day or two. But yeah, this is the fresh chicken of the woods just popping. Yeah! Chicken of the woods. This is actually, every time I've come hiking around here at Backbone, tons and tons of fungus and mushrooms. This is a mycologist dream here in Iowa. I think there's a pileated woodpecker. Oh, it is! A pileated woodpecker! This is one of my favorite birds. It's super, super rare. It's a woodpecker that's about the size of a crow. It's just amazing. This is so cool. Big old pine trees. As I go careening off the cliff. Okay, so I'm scared of heights, but this is still one of the best views in Iowa. It's just beautiful. It's so cool. I think to me, with all these steep, rocky cliffs and old, twisted pine trees, they almost look like bonsai trees. I almost think the reason I like this so much is it makes me feel like I'm in, I don't know, mountains of Japan. Or, I don't know, medieval China or something like that. But that's kind of the vibe that this place gives me. It's definitely not, I'm in Iowa, in the middle of corn and soybeans. It's way cooler than that. Where are we, Japan? Nope. Dundee, Iowa. After hiking the Backbone Trail, we drove around, looked at some of the campsites they had. They got a lot of different areas to camp, and we chose the tent camping spot. There's maybe 2 other people in the whole thing. Plus, our campsite came with this wonderful cat. Didn't really want to get petted too much, but it ate some hot dogs, so that was kind of fun. Campsites are really, really nice. They had fire rings, bathrooms were nice and clean. Like I said, there wasn't really a lot of people there. Firewood was for sale at the beach store, so as long as you get there while the beach store is open, you have a nice campfire. And it was just a really great night. Nice, quiet, beautiful, beautiful spot. In the morning, we woke up bright and early, had a little bit of breakfast, and then set out to explore the park some more. We explored the old trout hatchery, which was pretty cool. I think I remember coming here when I was a kid when they actually had some trout stocked in these pools, so it was really cool. We also went and walked, did a little creek stomping, walked along the creeks. There were a lot of people out fishing for trout. They stock the streams here, and they have really good trout fishery. The water is crystal clear and nice and cold, and it's just beautiful, beautiful streams. Just walking along the banks like this, you could see some trout swimming around. They were all over the place. And like I said, there were a ton of people fishing for trout. We also did a little hiking. We went up to the cave, and the cave isn't huge, but it is still pretty fun. You can do a little bit of spelunking. It probably goes back maybe 30 feet back in there, but maybe a little bit further if you want to crawl around on your belly. We didn't do that. We just kind of poked our heads in with our headlamps and looked around, and it was a lot of fun. After creek stomping and caving, we decided to check out the springs, Richmond Springs, and this is why the water here is so nice and clean. You can see all these limestone bluffs. This is good karst topography. There's a lot of really cool freshwater springs in this area of Iowa.
And this right here is Richmond Springs, and you can see there's some trout in there. Crystal clear, very cold water, just bubbling up from the ground. And this is what feeds all these beautiful trout streams. But you can literally see the water bubbling up through the sand, just pushing up through there. And it was just amazing to see all this fresh groundwater just coming straight up out of the ground and up through the sand like this. It's awesome. If you're in the park, you definitely have to check out Richmond Springs and just watch this really cool geologic process in action. We didn't have a lot of time. We probably only saw 30 or 40% of the whole park. There's a lot of really cool stuff around the lake and along the beach area on that side of the park. But overall, it was an amazing, short, awesome camping trip.